I'm speaking to someone that's in a period or a season of seeing things clearly. I feel like you're really understanding prioritization and discernment. I feel like you're seeing through illusion, and especially in your relationships, I feel like you're seeing people's intentions or behaviors much more clearly than before. And this is giving you wisdom. I'm actually seeing that you're in a season of wisdom. You're in a season of learning. And it's almost like when a child goes to school for the first time and they're learning, it's like the information just doesn't make sense. And then eventually it just makes sense. That's kind of the energy that I'm sensing for you. I'm also hearing say it with your chest. I feel like a lot of you listening to this have been holding something heavy on your heart. There feels like there's a heaviness on the chest. It feels like there is something left unsaid. It feels like there is truth unexpressed. And it feels like you might be going through a bit of pain, like actually kind of experiencing some emotional pain from endings, from cycles completing, from moving on, or from people where it almost feels like it might have been like a bit of a sudden relationship breakup or sudden friendship issue or family challenge. It feels like it's to do with relationships. And I'm just sensing that there's this kind of pain. Maybe for some of you, it could be grief. Feeling like this grief energy. So if any of that resonates with you, then this is a message for you today. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always use your discernment. If you haven't already, click subscribe, as I do readings like this on a weekly basis. Now, I pulled some cards for you before jumping on, which I don't normally do, but we've got Veil of Protection, Feeling Lost, Unspoken Words, Overcoming, Gut Feeling, Wisdom, and Enthusiasm. So let's dive in. So Veil of Protection, we've got even as the storm approaches, a protective energy surrounds you. Trust that you are anchored in safety no matter how strong the winds blow. So you might be feeling like you're in this storm at the moment. You might be feeling like there is a lot of chaos, maybe some hectic energy. I do really feel like I'm speaking to someone that's going through some sort of move. This could be a physical move, moving to a new home, moving to a new country, moving to a new location. Maybe you're about to move, but it feels like you're in the midst of this move, and it does feel like it's physical. For some of you, this might simply be energetic. You're moving from one version of yourself into another. But I really do feel like for a lot of you, I'm being drawn to physicality, physical things, furniture, being in the home. So that might be relevant for some of you right now. And maybe you're feeling a bit like, whoa, I feel like everything's everywhere. And I do feel like for some of you, this might be after a relationship breakup or some sort of challenging situation with people that you lived with. And so you're deciding to move. I've also got feeling lost here. Not knowing where you're going doesn't mean you're off track. Some of life's most important discoveries come when you allow yourself to wonder. Isn't that so beautiful? We can see here how being in the storm and feeling lost really coincide together. So maybe this is a time for you to really trust that you might not be able to see something right now about how this is working in favor of you. Whatever it is you're going through, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is that you feel stirred up with right now, this change that is happening in your life that feels uncomfortable. I want to say uncomfortable. I almost see like a bit of a dark cloud around your head as well. So you could be feeling a bit down in yourself. You could be feeling surrounded by negativity or negative thoughts that are coming in. For some of you, this might be a toxic relationship that you've broken up from. Or you're realizing the toxicity that is kind of a residue on how you think about things or how you see yourself or others after this relationship. And this is just a temporary experience. I just want to say to you that everything is transitory. Everything moves through us. We are always in transition. Nothing is fixed. Nothing lasts forever. So really just allow that to land on your heart space. I almost want to say like breathe yourself open. I really want you to like call in white light or pink light. Wow, I feel this so strong. I feel emotional as I'm saying this. I want to ask you to like pull in the white light and the pink light over your heart space and let it clear some of the heaviness. I almost want to say like put your heart to the heavens, your shoulders back, your head high, because whatever it is you're going through right now, this is going to be a very easy time to slip into old ways of programming. What I mean by that is it will be very easy to talk down on yourself right now. If this is a relationship breakup, you might be saying, why did this happen? Why was I treated this way? I didn't deserve this. Those are just some of the things that are coming through. Or maybe you feel like it's kind of revealing this deep-seated feeling of not being enough or being rejected, and it's just revealing all of that right now. And I want to say to you, it will be very easy for you to slip into negative thinking towards yourself. And I almost want to say to you, what would happen if you just did the opposite? If when you felt that pain or that grief, you actually breathed your heart open rather than curled up inside, rather than shut down. You allow this pain to open you to possibility and new opportunity. You don't let this pain break you, you let it build you. You feel the pain from a place of, I know that this is moving through me for a reason. It's showing me wisdom and lessons about myself that's going to help me in my future. And so I'm going to allow myself to breathe myself open and expand myself through this threshold. That's what it feels like. Let me know in the comments if that resonates and if that supports you at all. Because that's the sense that I'm getting, is I'm being shown that you can either fall back into past ways of seeing yourself, or you can open yourself to new ways of seeing yourself. And this is your choice point. This is like your crossroads. It's not that you shouldn't be feeling the pain. Like, allow yourself to feel it. Pain alchemizes into power. You're meant to be experiencing this. These feelings, these emotions, this grief, whatever it is meant to be moving through you, but allow it to move through you. Don't let it stick. Do not cling onto it. It is actually helping to release a lot of past stuff, is what I'm feeling. And I do keep being drawn to this theme of not being enough or feeling rejected. And I almost want to say to you that this is cleansing that. This pain you're feeling, this emotion that's coming to the surface, is a purging of past pain related to those themes. And I almost want to say to you, like, you do not even realize you're in power. Like, I'm being shown a vision that you might be someone that goes inwards, that if something wrong happens, and a quote unquote wrong, technically nothing is ever wrong, but if something happens that is challenging, that you feel is wrong, or that you perceive to be against you, that you really kind of go inwards on yourself, and it really puts you in this, how would I explain it? This dark place. This dark place. It's kind of like you might have a tendency to go destructive on yourself. This will be for someone. This is specific. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I feel like I want to say to you that this is the time to like really hold your head high, even though it's not going to feel like you want to. Every part of your being is going to want to contract right now. It's going to tell you to stay inside, cry, grieve, eat lots of food, whatever. Because I am definitely getting this sense of like eating a lot of food. So I don't know if that's like emotional eating or something along there for someone, but that is coming through. Almost like this indulgence as a way to find comfort within yourself, which is completely normal. It's a normal human reaction and a biological response. But I also want to say to you, like, what if this could be something different? What if this season of your life that feels so painful could be your portal of turning that pain into power? What if this is more about how you choose to handle this season of your life than it is about what's happened? Does that make sense? I feel like power being erupted through my body right now. So someone might have heard that and been like, whoa, I've never seen it from that perspective, or I didn't see it from that perspective. And now I feel like that's making me feel more empowered about this situation. If that was you, let me know in the comments. But I feel like I'm feeling all of this energy now open in my chest. So some of you watching this might feel an instant relief. I almost want to exhale. I almost want to breathe fully. So if you're watching this, I just invite you, take a really deep inhale and release and surrender. It feels like there is this opening happening. It feels like as you're listening and watching this video, you are instantly feeling more lighter, from heaviness to light, because you're realizing that you always hold the power. That's what I want to say to you. You always hold the power. It is a complete lie to think otherwise, because you have the power to choose, one, how you operate through this season, two, the perspectives that you choose to hold about this situation. You could choose to see this season of your life as this is more evidence for why I'm not enough, or why I'm not loved, or why I'm rejected, or why I don't belong, or whatever it is. Or you could say, this is revealing where I see where I see myself in this way. And that's incredible, because now I have awareness. And with awareness, things naturally begin to shift. Maybe I didn't realize that I was still holding on to so much pain about not feeling enough. And now that this is being brought up again, this means this is moving through me, because I'm only going to be aware of something if it's already wanting to move through me, if it's already wanting to transcend. So you're realizing that this season is giving you so much more wisdom than you probably even realize right now. I feel like I'm hearing the word learning. Like you're learning about yourself. You're learning how to hold yourself differently through seasons of pain. I'm feeling a lot of activity in the throat as well. Like almost that this energy could be moving through you right now. You could feel like you need to go have a cry. I feel like for some of you, you could just need to laugh. Like I feel like for some of you watching this, you might have been like, oh my God, what have I been doing? I've been telling myself that there's something wrong with me. I've been dwelling in the pain when actually I'm the one in power. This is showing me something that I wouldn't be able to see without this experience. And as we know, guys, your inner world reflects in your outer reality. Everything is in perfect harmony because everything is in reflection. So whatever you're experiencing in your external reality right now is simply a perfect mirror, a perfect reflection of what is going on in your internal reality. And what makes it really difficult is that even though this mechanism is true because it's a law of the universe, because there's certain aspects of our inner reality that are so deeply removed from our conscious mind, they are so deeply embedded in our unconscious, that we simply do not have an awareness that it's there. And then something will happen in our external reality and we'll be like, oh my God, everything's going wrong. This is terrible. And it's like, no, it's actually just in perfect reflection to your inner world. You are actually the one in power because you are the one reflecting all of this back to you. And sometimes that is a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes it's about us really claiming radical responsibility for, not that you're intentionally creating those outer experiences, but there is a part of you as a creative generator that is generating that experience in your external reality in order to give you understanding of what is going on in your inner reality. And if that wasn't reflected to you in your external reality, you wouldn't know it was there. This is why we live in a world of mirroring. This is literally why our outer world reflects our inner world. Your world derives from you. Your world derives from your subconscious mind. Whatever is held in your subconscious is what projects onto your external screen of reality. So I really feel like this season for you is more about practicing how to handle this differently, to almost like create a different future for yourself. There is something that wants to be let go in your system, and I do really feel like it's around the theme of not being enough. And this could come in different ways. Again, this could be rejection. I do feel like the word rejection is coming through. I also feel like this could be through, there might be a sense of running out of time as well for someone that's just come through, like in relationships. Like you might have held on to a relationship because of your age or something like that. And now this relationship isn't there. You're feeling like, oh, what am I going to do? Like I'm too late. And I just want to let you know that that's not true. That is not true. But where was I? I can't remember. Oh yeah, the not enough. For some of you, this could be in business and career, like feeling like you need to prove yourself. Feeling like you're always behind time-wise, so you're always in overdrive. And I talk about the overdrive pattern in my book, Power Under Pressure. You can take a look at the book in the description. I actually go through 6 hidden patterns that block us from our next level self. So you can take a look at that. And it's just basically a map, and I'm just being drawn to the overdrive pattern and also the imposter pattern. Some of you might be realizing how you've really been wearing a mask. Not intentionally, but just in the way that we all do in order to fit in, we wear these masks. We create these personas. These personas and masks that get us love and attention. And if you're in a situation where you feel like that love and attention has been withdrawn, or you're realizing parts of you that are craving or seeking attention or love and almost maybe not getting it. This could be not getting it from your partner, not getting it from the world. I don't know. I'm just speaking what's coming through here. I feel like you're realizing that it's because you no longer need to wear the mask. You're realizing you no longer need to have an overlay over your truth and who you are. You're realizing that that persona served you for however many years and it just doesn't need to hang around anymore. So I do feel like a lot of you are going through this season of letting go of a version of you that you curated to fit in, to be loved, to be accepted. And there is something about this experience, this storm, or this difficult season you're in, or just a season of discomfort, I want to say, where you're really reconnecting with the love that you have for yourself. I want to say, like, really love yourself during this time. What if whatever your outer reality is revealing already within yourself is simply an opportunity for you to love all of it, for you to love the parts of yourself that you feel are not enough, that are unacceptable, that you don't belong or fit in, the parts of you where you feel you're not pretty enough or smart enough or capable enough, whatever it is. I almost want to say to you, this is a time to practice loving all of it, because that's what self-love is. Self-love is acceptance, fundamentally. And acceptance is bringing something towards yourself. It's not pushing it away. Fear is pushing it away. Acceptance is bringing it towards. And when you bring something towards yourself, you integrate it. You're no longer keeping at arm's length distance. You're no longer in separation to it. And it's separation that leads to suffering. All issues in this world, whether it's internal or external, is because of separation. Separation leads to suffering. Acceptance is the opposite mechanism of separation. It's bringing it towards yourself. It's saying, even if I feel like I'm not good enough, I'm going to love that part of myself that feels that way. And it's going to feel the most counterintuitive thing to do. You're going to be feeling like, why would I love that part of myself? I've spent my whole life trying to run away or cover up that I feel that way. Well, now is the time to move differently. That's what I'm sensing. Now is the time to move differently. Now is the time for you to say, I'm going to love that part of myself because I don't need to be afraid of it anymore. I don't need to be afraid of someone seeing me as not good enough, because the only reason that's reflected in my external reality is because there's a part of me deep down that feels that way. And you have to remember, guys, that we see ourselves as one person. We see ourselves as an identity that we call by our name. But actually, we are the compilation of many, if not infinite, parts of consciousness. So there might be a part of you that feels super capable, and there might be a part of you that feels super not enough, okay? It doesn't mean that just because you feel not enough in one area or one aspect of yourself doesn't mean that the totality of you feels that way. And so this is where we're kind of diving into parts work in psychology, and you can research that. Parts work is essentially the integration of opposing parts that you hold in separation, kind of different ends of the spectrum. A part of you that loves yourself and a part of you that doesn't. And it's like, okay, well, if I love the part of myself that doesn't love me, or is in some way, shape, or form that's coming up, then that is actually really me moving into deeper self-love. So that was a bit of a detour, but I just felt like that needed to be said. So someone needed to hear that. This is a time that you get to be enthusiastic about who you really are. Feeling lost is not a deterrent to your path. It's actually what you need to experience to become found. I feel like you're in a season of really overcoming some internal walls and blocks that you have really come face to face with. And again, I just want to assert here that resistance is not a deterrent to your success. It's not a deterrent to your alignment. We're always in alignment. This is the myth about being in alignment, where people are like, oh, something's going wrong, or there's resistance, I'm just not in alignment. And it's like, well, technically we're always in alignment, because we're always in alignment with what we're ready to see, hear, or experience for our own growth and evolution. So whatever is coming up for you right now, it is intentional from life. It is strategic from life, because it's showing you something that you couldn't see unless it was reflected back to you in your external reality, because we live in this third dimensional reality of polarity. So we need to see something outside of ourselves to be able to understand what's going on inside ourselves. That's just how it works. But I really do feel like you've been overcoming some big blocks internally. And I just want to say to you, like, get enthusiastic about what's possible for you. Start to really like almost dwell in the energy or indulge in the possibility that you could love who you are. That maybe this life experience is nothing more than being so immersed and enjoying the truth of who we are and who we came here to be. What if that is the purpose? What if the purpose is to love all parts of ourselves, the parts we reject, the parts that we accept? What if this is an experience of discovering what we've come here to offer the world? And this is a time for you to get super enthusiastic about what that could be, what that could look like, what that could feel like, what that could be like in the external world. So I feel like I want to say to you, open up to new ideas coming through to you at this time. I feel like you might be sowing the seeds of your future at this time. And I just really want to say to you that there is nothing wrong about where you are, who you are, or what you're going through. This is all for your growth. This is the alchemy process from pain into power. And I really do feel like you might look back at this season of your life in 6 months or 12 months time and say, that's the season where I learned to love myself. And from that foundation of self-love, everything begins to change. That's how it feels. It feels like you're going to start to step into your summer, internal summer, where things start to bloom or blossom, or you kind of find this reconnection with this excitement and awe for life. And you look back and you say, my gosh, I needed to go through that. That taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about what I truly want. It taught me a lot about where I gave pieces of myself and left it in the hands, hearts, and minds of other people. And I just claimed those parts of me back. I called those fragments back and I accepted myself for who I am in my entirety. And because of that acceptance, it created this larger foundation for me to grow on. Because what I'm seeing is that you're calling back these fragments, which means that you have a larger space because you're in the fullness of who you are to then build a bigger house, so to speak, right? It's kind of like at the moment you're working with this tiny little foundation. You can only build a tiny house. But if you work on building a more solid, bigger foundation through loving yourself, through calling parts of yourself back, through forgiving those who you're ready to forgive, and not sooner, but when you're ready, to say, thank you for showing me that within myself. Thank you for revealing something within myself that I couldn't see previously. Thank you for bringing this to my attention because now I can learn to grow from this experience. So kind of, I'm just seeing this flipping of perspective of what if nothing is going wrong? What if there's nothing wrong with me? What if shit isn't hitting the fan, so to speak? And what if actually this is a season of everything I need to see and feel to become more whole in myself? And that's a very powerful place to be. And I know you watching this are going to be feeling that right now. You're going to be feeling that sense of power of reconnecting with the truth that you're exactly where you need to be. You're seeing, you're learning, you're hearing, you're experiencing what you need to experience in order for you to grow and evolve in a way that is so much more true, so much more authentic, so much more on path with your spirit. And so you're being revealed all the ways in which that isn't the case, so that you can move into that. Okay? We experience what we don't want, so we experience what we do. Take note during this time of the contrast of what you don't want for future relationships, for the future of your work, your career, for the future of your life. And start to use that as a gauge and as a tool to be like, because I know that this is what I don't want, that's giving me clarity on what I do want. So for some of you, you might feel like clarity has been hard for you. Like to really get clear on your vision, what you want for your life, for your family, for your relationship, for your career. You might feel that there's been this struggle, this battle with, well, I don't know. I always want to say to you, use this time right now, this season, to really let what you don't want give you clarity on what you do. Sometimes or some people, should I say, find it very easy to look into the future to know what they want. I'm one of those people. I've always known where I'm going, what I'm here to do since I was a child. I've always had a connection with the blueprint and the essence. I've always felt it in my heart and I've always seen it in my mind. Now, how to get there? I've never known, and I still don't know. And I've taken many, many detours, but I've always known the true essence of what it is that I'm here to be and experience and contribute to the world. For other people, that can be quite hard to tune into that because maybe there is some blocks or some ceilings around allowing yourself to feel truly fulfilled, to live a life of meaning, to feel joy beyond what words can even articulate, to enjoy or to experience love, beyond what words can even articulate. So for some people, it's easier to actually focus on the negatives of what you don't enjoy, what you don't like, what you don't want to experience again, in order to actually give you that forward path clarity. So there is no right or wrong about either way. It's just about getting clear on what works for you so you can use that in favor of your future and your evolution. Okay, does anything else want to be said? I am seeing a bird here. You might be noticing birds. You might feel like you're taking flight after listening to this whole video and seeing your current experience from a different angle, a different vantage point. As birds, obviously, they have a vantage point where they can go high and they can look and they can see everything. I feel like you might be seeing it from a different perspective now, from a wider perspective. And whoever is listening to this, my deep desire is that you do get to love yourself, that you arrive at a place where you do truly accept and love yourself. Because trust me, there is no better feeling than that. There is nothing more powerful than that. Because you know that your external reality is a reflection of your internal reality. So make your internal reality a really freaking good one. Like really, it's going to be courageous. You're going to need to be brave. Because every part of you is going to want to fight, looking at the parts of you that you've spent years trying to hide from the world. All the parts that you feel are ugly, not enough, not acceptable, not fitting in, all of those things. We all do it. We all hide all of those parts of ourselves. And then we create this persona that isn't any of those things so that we can essentially be loved for the opposite of what is being held in our unconscious. And this is what Carl Jung termed as the shadow. This is why we can't see it. But we need light in order to see the shadow. So what you're going through right now is shining a light on stuff that was in the dark previously that you couldn't see, you couldn't connect with, you couldn't understand. So use this time as a really, really strong season for understanding and awareness. This is powerful, guys. You're in a very, very powerful place in your life, even if it doesn't feel like it. And the power always sits with you. It's in your mind, it's in your heart, and it's in how you choose to navigate. And there's going to be times where you might feel like you're brought to your knees and you're somewhat distraught or distressed. And trust me, I have been there. I have been there. I remember years ago being brought to my knees in the shower, and I just said, God, freaking help me. Help me. And it was that moment of me being dropped to my knees that was also the moment of complete surrender of the ego, complete surrender of resistance. And trust me when I say that what came after that was magic, miracles, because it was in that moment. It's almost like I had to get to the moment of falling to my knees, feeling like I couldn't go on anymore, fully surrendering to God, saying, help me, save me. It was in that moment that I then opened up to life supporting me. It was in that moment that I realized that all the resistance what I was experiencing was my ego, or me trying to cling on to things. Me trying to cling on to, very unconsciously by the way, but me trying to cling on to patterns or perspectives or thoughts about myself or my self-concept or my view of the world that kept me safe. It gave me a sense of stability and safety, as it always does. That's what the ego is. The ego is a vehicle of orientation in this third dimensional reality. It gives us a sense of self. It gives us a sense of separation from other. And I just fully let go. And it was just in that moment of surrender that I feel like everything started to move in favor. And that's happened multiple times in my life. So you might be in that season, and I'm not saying that you need to have that drop to your knees, full surrender moment, but that story might help you see something that you're in right now from a different lens. Surrender is always the path, always the path. And this year, I feel like a lot of people are experiencing surrender at a whole new depth than they have previously, or in a new way, or with a new thing, with a new aspect of their lives than they experienced it previously. Because a lot of people watching this video, you would have been through seasons of deep, deep surrender. You would have been through the spiritual path, the awakenings and all of that. And still, there is always more. There is always a deeper, more expanded opportunity or invitation to surrender. And I've been through this myself this year, big time. This year has really taught me deeper surrender yet again. I do feel, I just have to say that I'm being really drawn to the nose right now. I feel like some of you might have a stuffy nose, might have allergies or something, like or maybe you're feeling emotional, but I'm really being drawn to this stuffiness. And the nose from a metaphysical perspective represents our relationship with trust. Trusting ourselves, trusting others, trusting life. So that ties in so beautifully with what I was just saying about surrender. If you're around someone and you can't stop sneezing, or you've got a sniffly nose around one particular person or in one home environment or whatever it is, just take note, because maybe there's a part of you that doesn't fully trust your surroundings. That's really typically what the nose represents, and sinuses. But yeah, I just feel like I want to say to you, maybe this isn't an invitation to surrender. Maybe you're more powerful than you could even imagine yourself to be. Maybe this is a season you find your power and you look back on this day or this month or this season, whatever it is, and just say, wow, the way that I handled myself through that storm, the way that I gave myself grace, the way that I loved myself so fully, completely, and utterly, even when everything in my body and my ego was telling me not to, that set a new foundation for my future. And that I am very proud of. That's what I want to say to you. And I feel like I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to close this off there with that, because I feel like that's just all you need to hear today. Okay? Let me know in the comments, guys, what really landed for you in this video. I always love to read the comments. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, because I do readings like this on a weekly basis. And you can also join my membership group, where I do exclusive member videos and also member first videos. So you'll be the first to get certain videos. Other than that, guys, sending you clarity, sending you peace, sending you love, and sending you power as you navigate this season of your life. And you've got this. You know you do. You know you do. Maybe this was just the reminder that you needed. All right, team. I'll see you next time.